was working on an R2D8. Whenever you do that, I'm sick. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to R2D8 Sip 6. Today, I have a very special episode, but for a little bit of context, basically, I was working on R2D8 Sip 6, which the topic was the death and slow decline of R2D8. And I recorded the video and I was getting ready to edit it, but then I had a conversation with Ghost Sinister, which, by the way, he's right here. And
Hi.
and okay. Bro. okay, and basically he addressed many of the issues I had, and I thought, oh well, now my videos are relevant, so yeah, I'm just gonna do something new. And since he ruined my video and he has the answers to every single thing, well, not everything, but
You're welcome.
let me speak.
I saved you 30 minutes of editing.
No, whatever, but basically, yeah, here he is. He's gonna answer a few stuff about the slow decline of R2D8, and it's gonna be like an official, unofficial response, since he's like PR's little slave, but he's not PR, so he's not the big guy.
That is not reality. What you just said.
Are you gonna
Okay.
explain what's reality?
Just ask me your questions.
Okay. Firstly, the biggest sign that R2D8 is dying is the inability to find good servers. Now, if you log into R2D8 and go into a server, you will see that there is not a lot of servers, especially in the weekend. R2D8 is a game that has many niche server types, and every person likes their own little thing. So, in the end, there's only like one server for each type of player, and it's unplayable. You can't find any good servers. Last year, people were saying that R2D8 was dying. I didn't agree with that because I thought the game was still fun and was still playable. But I can't say that anymore because the game is simply unplayable sometimes, which isn't good because I should be allowed to play a video game whenever I want to. I shouldn't be limited to just playing it in the weekends. And the servers, yeah, they're basically empty sometimes, where there's only 10 players in default, which isn't enough to sustain a satisfying zombie gameplay. What, you're gonna play with 3 zombies? No, that's lame. The whole point of this game is to be bombarded with enemies and find out quick ways. Yeah, you play the game. But anyways, with all that in mind, Cap, do you think that the game is doomed?
Well, to answer your question, every game is doomed from the start for starters. So but in Reason Dice case, I made that video back in March, I'm pretty sure, where I asked the question if the game is dying, basically like a community's lost video. And it was like right now we're in a like not such a great state of the game right now. Like I'm looking at the game page right now, we have like 500 players playing the game right now.
By the way.
It's at on a Saturday, 7 p.m. So yeah, I think the player base has like dropped a lot since like the last previous events. So I think there's like a huge decline in player base, and it's because like people just like roll out of the like generic gameplay loop that Reason to Die has. Gets kind of old and stale for some people, but for other people it's just like, oh yeah, we're just gonna play for fun, like me and you do often.
Mm-hmm.
I find myself having trouble finding a server too. Like I went in to play a server yesterday and there's like literally no server to play on. It was just like a bunch of default servers with only 2 people playing on them, and like a beginner server with only like a few people playing there. It's not really fun to play.
Yeah. When I meant doom, I meant like there's not going to be a chance for the game to come back to get people's attention. Do you think it's just going to keep on declining or going as you famously copied in a downward spiral?
Well, well, I think we have a potential to make the game more popular, but not like as popular to be like on the front page. That's never gonna happen, personally, in my opinion. The game's kind of too complicated for like an average Roblox player to just like pick up. I'm pretty sure there's a statistic saying like most like 70% of Roblox players play on like mobile tablet, and playing Reason 9 tablet is not
70%,
like
that would
the
be.
way. Yeah, it is not the go-to way to play the game. So yeah, it's kind of hard. I mean, like I don't really like the tutorial in the game right now because it doesn't really explain like the mechanics in the game. It only explains like 1% of it. Yeah, kind of hard.
The second sign that the game is dying was this Halloween's event. Now, if you don't know, Halloween, or actually any event, gives a huge boost in players to the game, but not this year. This year, um, from what I saw, it went up to around 1,000 players. Which, by the way, right now there's around 500-ish in the weekend, and it's really bad because usually the game focuses on these Halloween events to give a boost in players. Blazer Builder invests so much time in making and polishing a Halloween event that way new players can be amazed and be like, "Oh yeah, this game is so awesome! I want to play this game." And yeah, basically that's I assume that's his train of thought because there's so much effort put into events more than any other update in the year. But this year it was disappointing. One week later, the player base was back to normal, and now it's still declining, and we're still in the middle of an event, and it's still just dying. Okay, back to you, Cap. Should the team prioritize other changes aside from the usual event now that it has been proven that they are a short-term solution?
Well, on the topic of events, well, regarding this Halloween event, around like more than half of the stuff we planned for this event was cut from the game entirely because either it couldn't be coded or it was just like scrapped for a reason that I can't really say right now. So for events, I'd say yeah, they could be a solution, but they're more of like a short-term solution. But if it's like a permanent event, like King Cherry Cake, Chronos, or Jackspot, yeah, they could be long-term if they also bring like really cool stuff to the game. But I think, well, for me, for Psy, what we're doing now is we're trying to prioritize more on like gameplay aspects. So like instead of just like events and stuff, we want to just do like huge gameplay overhauls. Most importantly, I want to do like a huge zombie overhaul where we add like I guess a few new infected mobs, more development center upgrades, like a bunch of quality of life fixes and all that. So it'll make playing zombie more fun because not many people really like playing zombie right now.
Um, Another question related to this whole event thing. Is it possible that other types of events that don't feature a quest or a boss would be implemented to the game and as a possible solution to give the game more attention? For example, this year we saw the Bunny Race, which was the first event that did not feature a boss fight. And yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Well, we could see how fun Bunny Race was with like in having a full server. That was not really intentional. PR meant for like a few people, like a dozen people, to play that mode, and even then, it wasn't like really like thought out well, in my opinion. But I think if there was an event that doesn't feature a quest or boss, it might work. I mean, it kind of depends what else that event has to offer. Because if it's just like another Bunny Race clone, then I don't think really that many people's going to be excited for it. But I think if there are different type of events, like I really want to do a community event, and I was talking to PR about it. He might do it. I can't confirm or unconfirm it, but it's something that we also want to do. Where like we just have like the entire community to like collab together and we make our own event. It'd be pretty cool to see that happen.
So one of the things that I think is killing the game are the updates. Basically, updates implement one out of many things, which are weapons, items, maps, armors, and skins. Which new stuff is always great. I love new stuff, but the problem is if you're just constantly getting that kind of stuff over and over and over again for since 2016, almost 4 years now, just constantly getting nothing new, nothing big that changes the gameplay, it gets tiring. And the game still always focuses on stuff like new weapons, new items. That's what people suggest. That's what people know. They don't suggest game overhauls or something new. No, it's just, yeah, that. And I feel like people are starting to realize that the game is not going to change. No matter how many updates there are, even if you add a new gun, the game is still going to be slow, or whatever problems you have with the game, they're still going to be there. It's not going to change. And that's an issue because, yeah, people like change. And these things don't represent the change that people want. What I think R2D8 needs is a big overhaul, as you previously said. Overhauls related to zombie changes or whatever, just anything new, anything that can get people to go like, wow, I can't wait for this, and oh my goodness, I want to play this game because it's different, or anything really. So my question is, what is planned for R2D8?
All right. Well, what's planned? Well, what's officially planned for Reason? I can't really tell you that because I'd be leaking what we're doing. But for changes that we're planning inside, I kind of already said that in the previous question. We're more of focusing on gameplay improvements and more like zombie-oriented stuff instead of just like generally guns. I mean, the plan was for Sai is we do like all sorts of stuff, not just like weapons, but weapons are like really like more our strong suit.
It's
since
Sinister Arms
kind of
Incorporated, after
easy
all.
to do that. Yeah. And well, on the topic of change, I mean, change, it can be good, but at the same time it cannot be good. And there are people, I know there's a few people who like really despise new changes made to the game, like the body hit multiplier that PR made. Nobody liked that at all, and it was removed in the next update. That was like a huge thing that nobody liked. I think the sniper hip fire thing, a lot of people did not like that, and it was like kind of reverted, but not really. Just kind of like only added that stuff on like guns that aren't really snipers, like the Garand, which I hate. And well, I mean, we're trying to do new things. Like for example, I revealed the other day, like a few months ago, I think a month ago. I can't remember. But I revealed the M4A1, a returning weapon that we're working on. It's not official. PR hasn't like confirmed it yet. Or well, I hope he confirms it, but we're adding a like underbarrel weapons to it, so we're gonna see like a M203 grenade launcher on your underbarrel weapon, for example. So basically, be like you have a mini M202, but you can't reload it at all. And it's gonna be like the first underbarrel in the game, and I'm not entirely sure if it's even possible, but I really want to like one of my goals is to like see the limits of this game and how much we can add and how much like really impossible stuff we can do. And I think it'd be cool to see that in the game. I mean, there's a lot more underbarrels in the game. It's not just going to be like oh, you're going to get an M202 for free now. So yeah, I think that's the main concern that everyone has, because we could see like how the China Lake came out as. I mean, it was good. No one like abused it for like the first month, and then it just like kind of developed from there. I'm not really proud of, but I mean, it is what it is.
Okay. The fourth thing I want to touch on is just frustrating things PR hasn't bothered fixing or just completely forgotten about. Now, basically, in this game, if something is added, and even if it has flaws, it will either never get fixed or take forever to get fixed. For example, I have a list here. Kill walls. The kill walls are intended for, of course, make sure people don't trespass outside the map. But in some maps like Victoria Harbor, if you slightly touch a little thing, it immediately kills you. Now, I'd assume that that's a big flaw and it would need fixing, because beginners will get confused, get frustrated, they'll log out and stuff like that. And there are other solutions to that have been used on other maps. For example, invisible walls, or something I think of that hasn't been implemented in the game. Excuse me. I'm sick. Something else that hasn't been implemented in the game is something that other games have, where if you go out of limits, you have a timer, and if that timer expires, you die. But anything, but no. Placer Builder, ever since the map was added, has not even bothered touching that. Something else is the Blocks Harbor campaign, which is really difficult, almost impossible. I've never beaten it on a public server without cheating, basically, and I don't know how PR expects to for people to beat that. And it's most people I ask can admit that that's really broken, but PR just hasn't even addressed it. And I don't. I know PR won't do everything I want him to do, but at least address it or anything. But no, it's just no. Another glitch that happens is in Subway, where the keycards spawn outside the map and you won't be able to get them or see them with your own eyes. Ever since the map was added or that glitch came up, nothing has been implemented. There are crappy rewards in campaign, which a lot of people complain, where, for example, in a campaign you usually earn from $500 to $1,000, but if you're spawn camping, you can earn that in a minute. So there's no incentive for people to even play the campaign, and campaign is considered a huge waste of time and sometimes useless. There are other issues like 26 damage zombies or C4 flying leapers, which are impossible for a low rank to be happy with or just be satisfied. These are things I'd assume PR has in mind, but just hasn't implemented them. Or I don't know. I'm not him. Also spawn camping, because PR gave a huge effort to fix spawn camping at the beginning of the year through like half of the year, but then he abandoned it and never gave another thought. It looks like, oh well, I tried, I'm just gonna go off and do events. And the game is still very flawed. You can still spawn camp basically as much as before. It's just now it's a little bit riskier, but people still do it. Of course, they love money. And these things I've mentioned, they're things that have been here for a long time. Or, for example, the 26 damage zombie that came out with the development center, that wasn't changed before to a reduced amount of health. No, that has been the standard since the beginning. And the campaign, ever since it came out, has been broken and all that stuff. So what I thought was just PR. The reason why PR didn't fix these things is probably because he just doesn't play the game or doesn't. I'm running out of storage. So the reason why I thought PR just didn't fix some of these stuff was because he just didn't play the game, which is fine. He's a busy man. He has stuff to do. But something that came to my interest was a couple of days ago, you mentioned in a voice call that PR has a priority system where, although he's aware and wants to fix some of these things, he'd rather do something that gives more attention to the game or has other things, other consequences to the game. For example, instead of fixing a certain thing or polishing it, he'd rather spend that time and work on a campaign, which I totally understand. But my concern is some of these things have been here for years, and forever, basically. But even if PR is aware of them, when is he going to fix it? Because these things will never be high priority, but the little frustrating things, they add up. And yeah, they're little, but people notice them, and especially low ranks. Like, if you join a game and see a bunch of broken things, you're not gonna want to play it. And this is an issue that has been plaguing R2DA for a long time. I don't know if it's directly the reason why people are leaving the game or just not getting into it in the first place, because I don't know people's minds, but I'd assume this has something to do with it. Now, my question is there hope that these things will ever get fixed, or do we just have to treat them as features and get used to them?
Well, like you mentioned, or what I mentioned earlier about the priority thing that PR has, he knows that some of these issues exist in the game, and others he has not heard of ever. It's common knowledge, if you've been in the Discord before, the Reason Die Discord, that there's a Trello where we report all the bugs in the game. And if I could like screenshot or like screen share the huge list that we have, it'd take like more than like 10 seconds to scroll down the entire list of bugs. And that's just like the minor bugs, not like the major or critical bugs that we have. So there's a lot of bugs in the game, and it's not like high priority for PR to fix like the what is it, the whistle, because like your arm clips with the whistle, like if you get tripped, he has to like drop everything that he's doing right now, like Christmas event, like all of that, he has to drop that so he can fix that bug. And that bug is also persistent. He's patched that like so many times, and it's like still in the game. So yeah, so some of these things should be considered features, I guess. I mean, I remember I showed him like the glitch where the brute turns into a torpedo when you like shoot him the ice gun or the ice bullets. Yeah, and he just said, yeah, that's a confirmed feature now for the brute." Yeah, so some of these things are like really funny, and I would say, yeah, treat them as features, because like, I mean, they could be like gameplay affecting sometimes, but they're like really funny. And it's what makes Reason to Die Reason to Die. I mean, you can see like flying cars and all that, people using the sleigh with the fans. I think yeah, Pierre could patch that, but I mean, like, would you want him to patch that? It's kind of like, I mean, why would it? It's so funny to see. So yeah, I mean, yeah, some of these things will eventually get fixed. I mean, there is a priority list, and on top of it is just like the events, like stuff that PR like definitely wants to add. And then in the middle is just like new guns, new maps, and then at the bottom it's just like bug fixes, miscellaneous stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Some of these things aren't game breaking, but there are other ones which, like, blocks hardware, for example. That's not something that's really funny. It feels like you're wasting your time, and you're just
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, I
yeah.
completely agree with you on that. I mean, that campaign. I mean, I'd say that campaign isn't like really thought out. It's more of like a design flaw in like how PR like made it.
Hmm.
Like I really despise that campaign, and I think everyone has. And I think, but like no one played it even like before that glitch happened, where like all the zombies don't even like spawn at the end, and it's like, oh, you're just playing Minecraft at like the last portion of the campaign.
Wait, I didn't know there was a
It-
glitch there. I just thought I was just talking about
I
how
mean, it was never glitched from the like the beginning when the campaign
yeah.
first came out. I think around like the time where like shed farming started to become like more prominent, that glitch started to like pop up.
Mm.
So I think, yeah, like PR should like definitely like update or like give like these campaigns a huge overhaul, so they're just not like go to like waypoint A, waypoint B, and then like, oh, you're done now. You get $800, and then like do that entire thing again so you can get money. It should be like more than that, you know.
Yeah.
It's just really impossible to play some of these
Yeah, unless you
campaigns
have
because
clock
of like
bumps.
they're really, yeah, because like they're really annoying, like kill water or like kill walls. I really despise those as well. I think that it should be like a notice on the screen that you need that you're out of bounds or something. But that can also be abused as well. So it's like if we do remove it and add this instead, there'd be like more like unforeseeable problems that we'd have in the future. But at the same time, I think it'd be like a good like addition to the game, so it doesn't like confuse new players. So like, oh, they think that you can climb on this wall, but you just instantly die, or you just trip and then you take fall damage and you die from that way,
Mhm.
or you jump in the water and you just like instantly die, like just piranhas in the water. So I think, yeah, like some of this stuff is it. You can only like kind of see that the map indicates that there's kill water on the loading screen, and the loading screen sometimes only lasts like 1 second if your internet is good, and no one
Mhm.
really pays attention to the loading screen. So
Yeah. That piranhas though got me
hard.
laughing.
Yeah, but also on balancing issues, yeah, I really don't like 26 damage zombies. I think right now, well, I just had an idea right now that like normal zombies. I mean, I kind of like understand why normal zombies need to upgrade, because like 10 minutes into the game, you spawn as a normal zombie and some dude has like 300 HP. Like only having 10 damage per like hit is not really going to do anything to them. It's just going to like tickle them, you know.
Hmm.
So like by doubling that damage, it kind of
Yeah.
does something. But I think it should maybe like scale with like how long the game goes on, like how like the spawn rates scale. And I really like I think C4 Leapers were only added just because like I remember I made a joke about it when PR was making the development center, and I think he actually took it seriously and he actually added it, and I don't know how to feel about that. Like at one side of me says it's really funny, but the other side is like, oh my god, I caused all this problems. But I think the leaper upgrade where like you can jump higher, I think that's extremely fun.
Yeah.
I hear some people say that it's not really like fun to play against. I mean, there are counters to it where you can get like a Boo Buster and it would just like automatically lock onto the zombie, or get like a pumpkin mount and it just like shoot them out of the air. I really don't like the C4 upgrades. I think maybe like the explosion radius should be toned down a little, and the damage kind of toned down maybe. Well, I mean, it's kind of like it's really hard because like in a default server, you can't like balance the gameplay where it's fair for like all like ranks of players. So, like there's a low rank who just like started playing. He can't be like killed by a 26 damage zombie, but on the other hand, there's going to be a higher rank with like a P90 like fully decked out loadout, where like it's necessary where you have that kind of upgrade. So it's like it's a double-edged sword with these kind of things. It's really hard.
That's a
balance
topic
it.
for another day. Yeah.
It's just really hard to do.
Well, that's the end of the interview. I'm sorry if it ended abruptly. I had this section in which we talked about how there was still hope in the game, especially since 2021 was around the corner and there was no events in the horizon. Well, since this video took 4 months to make, it's 2021 now, March in fact, and nothing has been done. Nothing. There was one update, which was really, really tiny, which is unfortunate. I want this game to succeed, but it's very hard to even continue supporting it because I play video games to have fun, and if I'm not having fun, then what's the point? Honestly, it's very hard to make videos for this game. And no, it's not because of the views or the money. No, it's just because since there's no servers, it's very hard to actually have fun. It feels like I have no other option but to just stop making videos for this game because my videos take around like, for example, this video took 4 months to make, and in 4 months, I doubt this game will even have a player base. It's unfortunate. I want this game to succeed. But I think that all we need now is a miracle in order for this game to actually succeed. The game has always been fun. It's been a nice run. But I think the magic is over, which is unfortunate. As for my channel, well, I haven't figured it out yet. I just plan on making general Roblox content like you see on all those big channels. They do is like, ah. But yeah, I mean, I'll figure it out sometimes. I feel like I grow along with my channel, so I don't know. I don't know. I'll just be experimenting, and I hope this is not an end of an era, but the beginning of a new one, because man, I don't want my chat to die. Anyways, thank you all for watching. This has been an amazing run. I wish I could still make videos in this game, but it's very hard. But yeah, thank you all. Have a good day. 3, 2, 1, go. Go to.
No survivors. No survivors.